The meeting room was so oppressive it felt hard to breathe. Su Wan. If this project turned out like this, whose fault is it if not yours? Wang Peng, the marketing manager, slammed the table, his spit nearly hitting Su Wan in the face. The proposal was written by you. The data was compiled by you. And now that there's a mistake, you still want to make excuses. The colleagues around them kept their heads down, not daring to speak. In the corner, Lin Weiwei, who was usually closest to her, had a barely noticeable glint of schadenfreude in her eyes. Su Wan suddenly snapped back to reality, her heart pounding. The cold, disinfectant-like lighting, Wang Peng's greasy, furious face, and the project proposal on the table that had been altered beyond recognition. Wasn't this the day 3 years ago when she was publicly scapegoated and nearly fired? Hadn't she collapsed at her desk from overwork and exhaustion, never waking up again, opening her eyes once more? She had actually been reborn, returned to the darkest, most humiliating day of her career. In her previous life, she was honest, patient, and endured hardship without complaint. She had stayed up 3 nights in a row to draft the proposal, only for Wang Peng to take all the credit. When problems arose, the blame was firmly pinned on her. Unable to defend herself, she tearfully apologized, ended up with a major demerit, lost all her bonuses, and couldn't hold her head high at the company. Later, Lin Weiwei climbed the ladder by stepping on her, and her ex-boyfriend, deeming her unpromising, left her for a wealthy girl. She became a complete joke. But now, with a second chance, Su Wan slowly raised her head, the timidity and panic in her eyes fading bit by bit, replaced by a chilling calm. Wang Peng was taken aback by her gaze and snapped with a frown. "What are you looking at? Admit your mistake." Su Wan gave a faint smile, her voice soft yet clear enough to reach every corner of the meeting room. "Manager Wang, this proposal isn't the version I submitted." The moment those words fell, the meeting room fell silent. Everyone stared at Su Wan in shock. Wang Peng's face darkened. "What nonsense are you spouting? If you didn't submit it, did I alter it?" "Yes." Su Wan nodded, her tone eerily calm. "It was you who altered it." Wang Peng laughed in anger. "Proof? Don't make baseless accusations without evidence." "Su Wan, let me tell you, this matter today. I have proof." Su Wan cut him off, stepping forward and picking up the projection pen. Her movements were composed, her gaze unwavering, nothing like the timid junior employee she usually appeared to be. She opened her cloud backup and retrieved the original proposal, projecting both versions side by side. "Everyone can see clearly. In the proposal I submitted, the channel budget, timeline, and risk contingency plan were all complete. But the version in your hands deleted the risk plan and tampered with the channel data, which led to the project's collapse." Her fingertips lightly tapped the screen as she pointed out each discrepancy, her logic razor sharp and the evidence irrefutable. "I sent it to your email at 2 a.m. The sending record, modification time, and file properties, all of it can be verified." The room fell dead silent. Colleagues widened their eyes, their gazes toward Wang Peng shifting. His face flushed red, then turned ashen with rage. You dare set me up?" he spluttered. "I'm just stating the facts." Su Wan put down her pen, her gaze calmly sweeping over the crowd. "The project failed, and I'm willing to take responsibility for my part, but I won't shoulder the blame for what isn't mine." These words were sharp, decisive, and cutting. Lin Weiwei's face instantly darkened. She had been waiting to see Su Wan get scolded and leave, hoping to take over Su Wan's resources. But Su Wan seemed like a completely different person now. At that moment, the conference room door opened. An assistant whispered, "Manager Wang." President Liu happened to pass by and came in to listen. The man was tall and straight, dressed in a tailored suit, exuding a cold and imposing aura. It was none other than the group's CEO Liu Qinyuan. His gaze swept indifferently across the room before finally settling on Su Wan. Lingering for a brief moment, Wang Peng broke into a cold sweat and forced a smile. "President Liu. Just a minor issue, handling it." Liu Qinyuan ignored him and simply said, "Continue with the proposal comparison." The meeting ended. Wang Peng had tried to gain an advantage only to suffer a loss, receiving pointed criticism from senior management. His face as dark as a pot. Not only had Su Wan cleared her name, but she had also made a name for herself in one fell swoop. The looks from her colleagues shifted from sympathy to shock, then to awe. Su Wan, that was impressive. You were amazing just now. So Manager Wang really was stealing credit? How disgusting. Su Wan smiled faintly, offering no further explanation. In her past life, weakness had earned her no sympathy, only further exploitation. In this life, she believed only in strength. No sooner had she returned to her workstation than her phone rang. The caller ID read, Chen Kai, her ex-boyfriend. Su Wan answered, her tone indifferent. What do you want? Su Wan, haven't you made enough of a scene? Chen Kai's impatient voice came through. So what if I didn't celebrate your birthday with you? Was it really worth giving me the cold shoulder? In her past life, it was on this very day that she had waited eagerly for him to celebrate her birthday. Instead, he had gone to a concert with a wealthy girl and then had the nerve to accuse her of being unreasonable. We're not making a scene. Su Wan replied calmly. We're just breaking up. Chen Kai was taken aback for a moment, then sneered. Break up? Su Wan. Don't be ungrateful. You're just an ordinary employee with no background or future. Who else would want you besides me? He was certain Su Wan couldn't leave him. After all, in the past, she had always been careful to please him. Hearing this, Su Wan found it utterly ridiculous. Whether I have a future or not is none of your concern, she said, her voice turning colder. Besides, we've already broken up. Don't come looking for me again. With that, she hung up and blocked him in one swift motion. Lin Weiwei pretended to be concerned and leaned in. Wan, did you and Chen Kai have a fight? Maybe I can help talk to him. No need, Su Wan replied, lifting her gaze with sharp intensity. We've broken up. Don't mention him again. Lin Weiwei felt her heart skip a beat under that gaze and awkwardly shut her mouth. She couldn't shake the feeling that Su Wan seemed truly different now. Su Wan turned on her computer. Her eyes resolute. Wang Peng, Lin Weiwei, Chen Kai. She would settle the score with every single person who had humiliated her, one by one. In this life, she wouldn't fall in love, wouldn't be a pushover, wouldn't waste energy on self-doubt. She would get promoted, earn raises, build her career, and climb to the top. She would rise to heights where everyone would have to look up to her. Sunlight streamed through the window, casting a glow on her sharp, determined profile. Su Wan's fingers danced across the keyboard as she drafted a new project proposal. Her workplace comeback began right at this moment. The meeting storm had just passed, but the atmosphere in the department had noticeably shifted. Colleagues who used to ignore her now looked at her with a mix of wariness and curiosity. No one had expected Su Wan, always such a pushover, to dare confront manager Wang Heiden in public and with solid evidence at that. Lin Weiwei approached with a glass of warm water, wearing a gentle, concerned smile. Wan, you were too impulsive earlier. Manager Wang is still our superior. After all, if you antagonize him like this, he'll definitely make things hard for you later. Her tone dripped with I'm just looking out for you. But every word carried the implication that Su Wan was being unreasonable and causing trouble. In her past life, Su Wan had been completely fooled by this act, confiding everything to Heronly to be betrayed without hesitation. Su Wan raised her eyes, her gaze coolly resting on the other's face. I didn't defy him. I was just stating the facts. Lin Weiwei choked for a moment before speaking again with a grievance in her voice. I know you've been wronged, but isn't this just how the workplace is? Just endure it a little and it'll pass. Endure. Su Wan let out a light laugh, her voice not loud but enough for those nearby to hear. Then you endure it yourself. I'm not in the habit of indulging this. The smile on Lin Weiwei's face froze instantly. She hadn't expected Su Wan to be so blunt. Su Wan couldn't be bothered to watch her act any longer and withdrew her gaze, refocusing on her computer. Lin Weiwei stood rooted to the spot, her fingers subtly clenching, a flash of resentment quickly passing through her eyes. Just you wait. Su Wan. Your triumph won't last long. A new notice was quickly circulated in the department group chat. The company was launching a small-scale brand promotion project, not a major one, but one that could easily yield impressive results if done well. Wang Peng sat in the office with a dark expression, clearly still holding a grudge against Su Wan. He deliberately assigned all the substantial tasks to others, leaving Su Wan completely out of the loop. It was obvious he intended to sideline her. The colleagues secretly worried for Su Wan. Being targeted by a superior would make it tough for her to get by in the department. Yet Su Wan wasn't the least bit anxious. She knew this project all too well. In her previous life, Wang Peng had handed it to Lin Weiwei, whose incompetence led to a complete mess. In the end, Wang Peng had to grit his teeth and clean up the mess, humiliating himself in front of senior management. This time, she wouldn't let the opportunity slip away again. Su Wan stood up directly and knocked on Wang Peng's office door. "Come in," Wang Peng replied impatiently. Su Wan entered and placed a brief proposal on the desk. "Manager Wang, I'd like to take on this promotion project." Wang Peng let out a derisive laugh, as if he'd heard a joke. "You, Su Wan, you've just crossed me. And now you want to snatch a good project? Let me tell you, not a chance." Su Wan's expression remained calm. "I'm not snatching it. I'm capable of doing it well. I can sign a military order if the project fails to meet expectations. I'll voluntarily take full responsibility." She paused, then added coolly, "Moreover, if this project fails again and the higher-ups start asking questions, do you think people will blame me? Or will they blame you for poor judgment in assigning personnel?" Wang Peng's face darkened abruptly. Su Wan had struck a nerve. She leaned slightly forward. "Give me this chance, and you'll be giving yourself an insurance policy too." Wang Peng stared at her for a few seconds before finally gritting his teeth and snorting coldly. "Fine. Let's see what tricks you've got up your sleeve. Screw this up, and you can pack your bags immediately." "That day will never come." Su Wan picked up the documents, turned to leave, her back straight without a trace of hesitation. No sooner had the project landed in her hands than trouble began. Wang Peng deliberately withheld resources, denying her both budget and manpower, making it clear he wanted to render her helpless. Lin Weiwei fanned the flames from the sidelines. Wan, how can you handle this alone? Why don't you apologize to Manager Wang, and I'll help share the burden." Her tone dripped with the certainty that Su Wan was doomed to fail. Su Wan ignored her and got straight to work. With no team, she did it herself. With no extra budget, she leveraged minimal costs to drive traffic. Her experience from her past life wasn't for nothing. She remembered clearly a local trending topic was about to explode, and hitching a ride on that wave could generate buzz almost for free. Everyone thought she was wasting her time, but only Su Wan knew she was setting the stage for something bigger. By evening, the office was nearly empty. Su Wan remained at her desk, refining the plan over and over. At the elevator, a tall figure stood quietly. Lu Qinyuan had just wrapped up an executive meeting when his gaze drifted to the still-lit workstation. It belonged to the girl from the afternoon meeting, the one with the calm eyes and sharp logic. His assistant whispered, "That's Su Wan from marketing. She took on that small promo project, but Manager Wang gave her no resources." Lu Qinyuan's gaze lingered on her focused profile. After a moment of silence, he said softly, "Keep an eye out. Don't let anyone sabotage her." "Understood, President Lu." 3 days later, at the project debrief, Wang Peng sat at the head of the table, wearing a smirk. Lin Weiwei kept her head down, hiding her glee. Everyone was certain Su Wan was about to crash and burn. Su Wan stepped forward calmly and opened the PowerPoint. Without any flashy packaging, each slide was precise, sharp, and steady. Channels, pacing, entry points for discussion, cost control, expected outcomes, everything was so clear that not a single flaw could be found. Particularly her proposal for leveraging trending topics left everyone in the room impressed. "Are you sure this idea is reliable? Don't end up ruining the brand's reputation." Wang Peng deliberately picked a fight. Su Wan responded coolly, "I've prepared contingency plans for all risks. The costs are kept to a minimum, yet the results could exceed conventional promotions by threefold or more. Her tone was firm. Her gaze confident, nothing like a low-level specialist. The department director grew more and more pleased as he reviewed the plan, nodding repeatedly. Excellent. The thinking is very clear. Let's proceed as you've suggested. I approve. With that one sentence, the matter was settled. Wang Peng's face turned pale, then flushed with anger, but he had nothing to say. Su Wan gave a slight bow. Thank you for your trust, Director. I won't let the company down. As she walked off the stage, she could feel countless gazes, shocked, envious, resentful, piercing her back. Lin Weiwei clenched her pen so tightly her nails nearly dug into her palm. How had Su Wan suddenly seemed to gain such insight overnight? Su Wan returned to her seat, her gaze calm and unruffled. This was just the beginning. What she intended to reclaim was far more than just this project. The project had barely started, and Su Wan was already swamped with work. Her phone rang at the most inconvenient moment. It was Chen Kai again. After being blocked, he had called from a different number. Su Wan frowned as she answered. What do you want? Su Wan, haven't you made enough of a scene? Chen Kai's tone carried his usual impatience. So I didn't accompany you last time. Is that it? I'm apologizing. Okay. He still thought Su Wan was the same girl who would soften at a few casual words from him. Su Wan found it laughable. Let me say it again, we already broken up. Break up? Chen Kai sneered. Don't take your bad mood out on me just because you had a fight with Manager Wang. Let me tell you, you should be grateful I'm even with you. With your unstable job, who else would want you? He grew more smug as he spoke, as if certain Su Wan had no choice but to stay with him. Su Wan's voice turned icy in an instant. First, my job is none of your concern. Second, I'd rather stay single for life than have anything to do with someone like you again. Third, she paused, her tone sharp and laced with undisguised scorn. You're not good enough for me. I was blind before, but now I see clearly. With that, she hung up and blocked him again. A passing colleague overheard snippets of the conversation and looked at Chen Kai with newfound disdain. Lin Weiwei sidled over, feigning concern. Wan, how could you talk to Chen Kai like that? Su Wan lifted her gaze, her eyes piercing. Is there a problem with me cutting ties cleanly with my ex? Lin Weiwei was left speechless and walked away awkwardly. Su Wan put away her phone, her eyes devoid of any emotion. Trash people should be dealt with thoroughly in one go. A week later, the promotional project Su Wan was responsible for officially launched. Just as she had anticipated, it perfectly coincided with the peak of a trending topic. Low cost, high exposure. The metrics skyrocketed. Views surpassed 1 million. Discussions exploded, and brand visibility was maximized. The marketing department was completely blown away. Damn, these numbers are insane. To achieve this kind of impact with such a small budget, Su Wan is seriously impressive. How did we never realize how talented she was before? Wang Peng stared at the back-end data, his face turning extremely grim. He had been waiting to see Su Wan suffer a crushing defeat, but instead, she pulled off a stunning comeback. The director even publicly praised her in the company-wide group chat. Su Wan from the marketing department has delivered project results that exceeded expectations, a model for the entire company to learn from. In an instant, Su Wan became the talk of the company. Lin Weiwei sat at her workstation, her face pale and her hands clenched tightly. Why? How could Su Wan suddenly become so celebrated? She couldn't accept it. In the afternoon, the company's senior executives toured the office area. Lu Qinyuan walked at the forefront, his commanding presence making everyone tense instinctively as he passed by. When he reached the marketing department, his steps suddenly paused. The director quickly stepped forward. President Lu, this is the viral promotional project our department just launched. The person in charge is Su Wan. Lu Qinyuan's gaze settled on Su Wan as he spoke coolly, his voice crisp. Well done. Just 4 simple words, yet they carried immense weight. A collective gasp echoed around them. Everyone knew President Lu was reserved and rarely praised employees publicly. Su Wan had just received personal recognition from the CEO himself. Su Wan bowed slightly, neither humble nor pushy. "Thank you, President Liu. It's what I should do." Liu Qinyuan gave her a deep look but said nothing more, turning to continue walking forward. Once he left, the office area erupted in chatter. "Oh my God. President Liu actually praised her. Su Wan is really about to take off now." Wang Peng stood not far away, his face dark as storm clouds. Lin Weiwei was even more jealous, her eyes burning red. Su Wan sat at her workstation, lightly tapping the desk with her fingertips. She looked up and gazed out the window. The sunlight was just right, the future bright. From today onward, no one would dare to treat her as a pushover. Her journey in the workplace had only just begun, and those who had once bullied her would soon learn they'd picked the wrong person to mess with. After the project's explosive success, Su Wan's status in the department visibly soared. Colleagues who had once ignored her now actively struck up conversations, offered coffee, and sought her advice. Their attitudes excessively enthusiastic. Only Wang Peng and Lin Weiwei grew more sour by the day. Wang Peng sat in his office, staring in the direction of Su Wan's workstation with a venomous glare. A junior employee he had just suppressed at the bottom of the ladder had suddenly become the director's favorite, even earning personal praise from President Liu. Where did that leave his dignity as a manager? No. He couldn't let Su Wan continue to thrive. He rapped his knuckles on the desk and called Lin Weiwei in. "Vivi, aren't you closest to Su Wan? Keep an eye on her workload recently, and let me know if anything comes up." Lin Weiwei immediately understood the implication, her face breaking into an obedient smile. "Don't worry, Manager Wang. I'll make sure to take good care of Wan Wan." She had been waiting for this day for far too long. Su Wan had snatched away the opportunity that should have been hers, stolen everyone's attention, and even captured President Liu's gaze. She had long been seething with resentment. Leaving the office, Lin Weiwei headed straight for Su Wan's workstation, her tone still sickly sweet. "Wan Wan. The quarterly report the director asked you to compile, let me help you with it. You've been so busy lately. Don't overwork yourself." Su Wan lifted her eyes, giving her a cool glance. In her past life, it was this very quarterly report that Lin Weiwei had secretly tampered with, causing her to embarrass herself in the meeting and face harsh criticism from the director. And now, in this life, she was trying the same trick again. The corners of Su Wan's lips curled into a faint, icy smile. "No need. I can handle it myself." The blunt refusal froze Lin Weiwei's smile for a moment. Suppressing the fury in her heart, she turned to leave, a flash of ruthlessness flickering in her eyes. If soft tactics didn't work, then she couldn't be blamed for resorting to harsh measures. In the following days, Lin Weiwei became unusually well-behaved. She no longer deliberately approached with fake kindness or made snide remarks. Though she occasionally glanced at Su Wan's computer screen when Su Wan stepped away from her desk. Su Wan noticed all of this and smirked inwardly. She knew Lin Weiwei's tricks all too well, waiting for her absence to tamper with files, copy data, or even frame her. Since that was the case, she decided to set a trap herself and wait for the other woman to walk right into it. That afternoon, Su Wan deliberately placed a file labeled internal core data in the most conspicuous spot on her desktop. Then, holding her water cup, she stood up and headed to the break room, intentionally slowing her steps. As expected, the moment she was out of sight, Lin Weiwei quickly got up, glanced around, and hurried over to Su Wan's workstation. Her fingers flew across the keyboard as she tried to open the file and copy its contents. But the moment she clicked on it, a screen recording window popped up automatically, and the file's built-in encryption program activated, locking the operation records. Lin Weiwei paled in panic, frantically trying to close the window, but it wouldn't budge. "What are you doing?" A cold voice suddenly sounded from behind, causing Lin Weiwei to freeze in place as if nailed to the spot, unable to move. Su Wan stood quietly behind her, holding a water cup, her gaze calm yet sending a bone-chilling coldness through Lin Weiwei. The commotion drew the attention of nearby colleagues, who all turned to look. They saw Lin Weiwei frozen in front of Su Wan's workstation. The computer screen clearly displaying her in the act of copying core files. Lin Weiwei, are you stealing my files? Su Wan's voice was soft but carried clearly throughout the entire office. Panicked, Lin Weiwei quickly waved her hands in denial. No, Wan, you've misunderstood. I was just checking if your files were saved properly. Help me check. Su Wan chuckled lightly, raising her hand to open the screen recording file on her computer. Then how does this automatic recording clearly capture your entire process from unlocking the folder to copying the files? As the recording played, Lin Weiwei's every action and expression were recorded unmistakably. The evidence was irrefutable, leaving no room for denial. The colleagues instantly erupted in uproar. Oh my God! She really stole the files. She always acted like she was closest to Su Wan. But behind her back, she'd do something like this. This is disgusting. It violates company policy. She should be fired. The murmurs pierced Lin Weiwei like needles. Her face turned deathly pale, and tears instantly streamed down as she tried to play the victim for sympathy. I didn't mean to. Wan, I was just curious. Please forgive me this once. Okay. Forgive you. Su Wan's gaze turned icy. Last time, you tampered with my reports and got me scolded by the director. Did you ever think of forgiving me then? This time, you wanted to steal my core data to curry favor with Manager Wang. Did you ever consider the consequences? The last sentence was spoken by Su Wan without lowering her voice. Everyone heard it clearly, and their eyes turned in unison toward Wang Peng's office. Wang Peng's face changed abruptly, and he stood up abruptly. Su Wan's words directly dragged Wang Peng into the mess. The colleagues instantly understood everything. No wonder Lin Weiwei dared to blatantly steal the files. She had Manager Wang backing her up. No wonder Manager Wang had been targeting Su Wan all along, was afraid she would outshine him. In an instant, the gazes directed at Wang Peng were filled with disdain and suspicion. Furious and flustered, Wang Peng strode out and shouted sharply, Su Wan, don't talk nonsense. When did I ever tell Lin Weiwei to steal files? Don't make baseless accusations. Whether I'm talking nonsense or not can be verified by checking Lin Weiwei's chat logs and emails. Su Wan said calmly. The screen recording just now already captured the message she sent you saying, files obtained. Would you like me to project it for everyone to see now? Wang Peng's face instantly drained of color. He had indeed asked Lin Weiwei to keep an eye on Su Wan's movements, but he never expected Lin Weiwei to be so foolish as to get caught red-handed and even leave behind evidence. At that moment, the department director, having been notified, hurried over. Seeing the chaos in the office and the screen recordings and chat logs on the computer, his expression darkened ominously. Wang Peng, what on earth is going on here? Wang Peng stammered, unable to utter a complete sentence for the longest time. Lin Weiwei, meanwhile, collapsed on the spot, tears streaming down her face. But no one pitied her anymore. Su Wan stood to the side, watching coldly. This was the fate they deserved. The grievances and humiliations she had endured in her past life, this time she would reclaim them with interest. HR quickly stepped in to investigate. The evidence was irrefutable, leaving no room for excuses. That afternoon, the company issued disciplinary notices. Lin Weiwei, a staff member of the marketing department, was found guilty of exploiting her position to steal core company documents and maliciously framing a colleague. In serious violation of company policies, she was dismissed and permanently barred from rehire. Wang Peng, the marketing manager, was penalized for managerial negligence, condoning malicious competition among subordinates, and suppressing outstanding employees. He received a major demerit, had his annual bonus revoked, and was demoted to deputy manager. The announcement sent the entire department into an uproar. Everyone knew Wang Peng had completely fallen from grace. Demoted from manager to deputy manager, stripped of all bonuses, and humiliated in front of the whole company. He would no longer have any grounds to target Su Wan. When Lin Weiwei packed her things to leave, she passed by Su Wan's workstation with a venomous glare but didn't dare utter a word. The once beloved White Lotus had now become a rat everyone avoided. Wang Peng sat at his desk, dejected. His former arrogance completely gone. Colleagues passing by his station couldn't even be bothered to greet him. Su Wan watched it all unfold without a flicker of emotion. This was just a minor episode on her path to workplace triumph. Clearing these obstacles would only help her move faster and farther. Just then, the director approached Su Wan. His tone unusually gentle. Su Wan, the company has seen your capabilities and integrity through this ordeal. There's an important project coming up. And we're entrusting it entirely to you. Do your best. Thank you for your trust, Director. I won't let you down. Su Wan replied with a slight bow, her voice resolute. At last. The opportunity was truly in her hands. The company's key project is a collaborative promotion with a well-known domestic brand. With its massive scale and ample resources, success would not only bring substantial profits to the company but also firmly establish the person in charge within the industry. This is an opportunity countless people are vying for. Now, the director has directly handed it to Su Wan. When the news spread, the entire marketing department was filled with envy. Su Wan is incredible, she just nailed a small project. And now she's taking on the key one. Talent really makes a difference. She's clearly being groomed as the director's right hand. From now on, Su Wan is undeniably the core of our department. Amid the praise, Su Wan remained level-headed. She knew that the brighter the spotlight, the more cautious one must be. In her past life, this project had ended in failure due to the person in charge's poor decisions and wrong channel choices, resulting in significant losses and breach penalties for the company. This time, armed with the experience of Rebirth, she was fully aware of every pitfall and the optimal solutions. Determined not to repeat the same mistakes, Su Wan immediately dove into work, forming a temporary team, mapping out the project workflow, and identifying all potential risks. She meticulously refined every detail, striving for perfection. The team members, all top performers in the department, initially doubted the young Su Wan's capabilities, but after working with her, they were won over by her professionalism, rigorous attitude, and clear thinking. Su Wan, you're amazing, I couldn't figure this out for hours. And you solved it at a glance. Working with Sister Su is such a relief. Su Wan smiled faintly. Let's all work together to make the project a success. And each of us will achieve the results we deserve. Midway through the project, a thorny issue arose. The influencer requested by the partner for collaboration had a fully booked schedule, and no matter how much they communicated, they were unwilling to take on the promotion. Without this influencer, the project's reach would be significantly diminished. The team members were frantic with worry, and despite Su Wan's repeated attempts to negotiate, there was no progress. Just as everyone was at a loss, early the next morning, the partners suddenly sent a message. The influencer's schedule had been coordinated, and they would fully support the company's project. The team erupted in cheers. Su Wan, you're amazing. How did you manage it? I was still communicating with the influencer's team yesterday, and they said they had no availability at all. How did they suddenly agree? Su Wan frowned slightly, feeling somewhat puzzled herself. She hadn't made any additional efforts to communicate, so why had the other party suddenly relented? At that moment, her assistant sent her a message. Miss Su, Mr. Liu asked me to inform you that for any resource-related issues in the future, you can contact me directly. Su Wan's heart stirred. So it was Liu Qinyuan. He hadn't made a fuss, hadn't sought credit, but quietly helped her solve the biggest problem, offering her the most dignified support. No unnecessary interruptions. No deliberate attempts to please, just silently lifting her up when she needed it most. Su Wan glanced toward the CEO's office, a faint warmth flickering in her eyes. She picked up her phone and replied to her assistant with 2 words. Thank you. The message had just been sent when a private WeChat notification from Liu Qinyuan popped up on her phone, containing just one simple line. Focus on your work. If the sky falls, I'll hold it up for you. Su Wan's fingers paused slightly, her heartbeat skipping a beat for no apparent reason. She took a deep breath, put away her phone, and turned her attention back to the project proposal. her gaze now even more resolute. With such a strong support behind her, she had even less reason to fail. The project progressed smoothly and soon entered the countdown to launch. But just then, another unexpected crisis struck. The company's competitor suddenly released a similar promotional campaign ahead of schedule. Not only was the theme nearly identical, but even the channels and timing were strikingly similar. It was clearly a deliberate attempt to steal the spotlight and hijack all the attention. The team members panicked instantly. Oh no! Oh no! They did this on purpose. Our campaign hasn't even launched yet. And someone else has already beaten us to it. What do we do now? It's too late to change the plan. If this doesn't work out, all our hard work will have been for nothing. Although Wang Peng had been demoted, he still took pleasure in the chaos. He couldn't wait for Su Wan's project to fail completely, just to vent the resentment in his heart. Amid the chaos, Su Wan remained unusually calm. In her previous life, the competing company had used this same tactic, and the person in charge at the time had panicked, hastily changing the plan and ending in utter defeat. This time, she had already anticipated this move. Su Wan immediately called an emergency meeting, her tone steady and firm. Everyone, don't panic. We don't need to change the plan, we just need to adjust one step. Launch 4 hours earlier and add an extra round of benefits. The competitors' benefits are weak, so we'll double ours and crush them with better value while seizing the first mover advantage. Her words snapped everyone out of their panic. The team immediately sprang into action, methodically adjusting the launch time and preparing the benefit campaign. Just 4 hours later, Su Wan's project went live as scheduled, with superior benefits, a smoother user experience, and a faster launch. It instantly captured all the traffic, completely overshadowing the competitor. By the time the competitor realized what had happened, Su Wan had already firmly secured the market. Within just 24 hours of going live, the project's metrics exploded. Exposure surpassed 10 million. Conversion rates far exceeded expectations, and partners sent thank you letters directly, stating the results were beyond imagination and expressing their desire to renew long-term collaborations. The marketing department was in an uproar, and the entire company was shaken. Su Wan is absolutely incredible. To turn the tables even after being intercepted by competitors, her skills are unmatched. To execute a key project like this is practically a case study for the industry. I'd like to crown Su Wan as the project goddess of our company. At the company-wide meeting, the director showered Su Wan with praise. Su Wan has proven with her capabilities what true professional competence looks like. Staying calm under pressure, outmaneuvering competitors, and creating immense revenue and reputation for the company. She's a role model for all employees. The chairman personally singled her out for commendation and awarded her a generous project bonus. Standing on stage, Su Wan accepted the bonus and certificate of honor with poise and confidence. Radiant as never before, gone was the timid, pushover scapegoat of the past. In the front row, Lu Qinyuan's gaze remained fixed on her, his eyes carrying a faint, almost imperceptible tenderness. This woman, clear-headed, independent, resilient, and capable, stirred his heart in every way. After the meeting, colleagues gathered around Su Wan to celebrate, all eager to work alongside her. She smiled and agreed, knowing full well that her career had entered a brand new chapter. Meanwhile, Wang Peng stood in a corner, his face ashen, completely stripped of any remaining confidence. He finally understood the vast, unbridgeable gap between him and Su Wan. Here was simply no comparison left. A week later, the company issued a personnel appointment notice. Su Wan was appointed as the team leader of the marketing department's project group, responsible for all the company's core promotional projects. Reporting directly to the director, from an ordinary specialist to a project leader, Su Wan achieved it in just 1 month. This was an unprecedented speed in the company's history. The office area erupted in enthusiastic applause for Su Wan. Congratulations, team leader Su. From now on, we'll follow Sister Su. Well deserved. You're amazing. Su Wan moved to a new workstation, now with her own independent office space, leading a full team, holding core resources and real authority. Her salary doubled, benefits upgraded, and her status completely transformed. When her family heard the news of her promotion and pay raise, they were so excited they repeatedly reminded her to take care of herself. Feeling immensely proud, relatives who once looked down on her for her ordinary background and job now sent messages one after another. Their tone unbelievably warm. Soo-won responded to each with calm composure. She knew all this was earned through her own capabilities, not relying on others, not compromising herself. A life built by her own hands was the most solid. In the evening after work, Soo-won packed up her things and had just stepped out of the office building when she spotted a black car parked by the roadside. The window rolled down, revealing Lee Chun-yuan's sharply defined profile. His gaze gentle. "Get in. I'll drive you." Soo-won hesitated slightly before finally opening the car door and sitting inside. This was her first time being alone with Lee Chun-yuan. The interior of the car carried a clean, crisp scent, faintly infused with the aroma of cedar, which inexplicably put her at ease. Without much small talk, Lee Chun-yuan got straight to the point. "Congratulations on your promotion." "Thank you, President Liu. I also want to thank you for helping me coordinate the influencer resources earlier," Soo-won said sincerely. "It was nothing," Lee Chun-yuan replied, turning his head slightly to look at her with a gentle smile in his eyes. "I didn't help you, I merely provided a bit of convenience to someone capable. Your achievements are entirely your own." He never deliberately downplayed her efforts nor forcibly claimed credit for himself. This respect and recognition moved Soo-won more than any assistance ever could. The car glided smoothly through the evening rush hour traffic as the two chatted intermittently about work. The atmosphere relaxed and harmonious. Soo-won realized that this CEO, rumored to be aloof and unapproachable, was actually exceptionally gentle and perceptive. He understood her persistence, her hard work, and the challenges she faced in the workplace. "If you encounter any difficulties at work in the future, don't bear them alone," Lee Chun-yuan said softly. "You can come to me directly." Soo-won felt a warmth in her heart and nodded gently. "Okay." That simple word made the corners of Lee Chun-yuan's lips curve slightly. He could see that the girl before him wasn't a delicate flower needing constant protection, but a towering tree capable of shining brightly on her own, and he was willing to be her most steadfast support. Just as the car pulled up to Soo-won's apartment building, a sudden figure rushed forward and blocked the vehicle. It was Chen Kai. Somehow, he had learned about Soo-won's promotion and pay raise and had been waiting eagerly at the entrance of the complex. When he saw Soo-won step out of the car and noticed Lee Chun-yuan inside, his expression instantly turned complicated. "Won." Chen Kai hurried forward, his tone ingratiating. "I finally caught you. I know I was wrong, let's get back together." "Okay. I was blinded before, I shouldn't have looked down on you. Now that you've been promoted and earn more, we'll definitely be happy together." He laid bare his opportunism and greed. He had discarded Soo-won when she was down, only to shamelessly crawl back now that she was thriving. Soo-won looked at him, feeling nothing but disgust. "Chen Kai, we broke up a long time ago. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Don't be like this." Won. Chen Kai refused to give up, reaching out to grab Soo-won's arm. "I know you're still mad at me. I'll apologize, just forgive me this once. And I swear I'll treat you right from now on." Just as Soo-won was about to step back, an arm gently wrapped around her waist, pulling her protectively behind him. Lee Chun-yuan, who had somehow stepped out of the car unnoticed, radiated a chilling aura as his icy gaze locked onto Chen Kai. "Stay away from her." Four simple words, carrying an undeniable pressure. Chen Kai froze under his intimidating presence, not daring to take another step forward. Lee Chun-yuan shielded Soo-won behind him, his movements natural and tender. His eyes, however, remained cold as ice when they met Chen Kai's. When you looked down on her, she never complained. When she worked hard to earn her promotion, you lost any right to come back. And now, his tone was calm, yet every word struck like a blade. She won't have anything to do with someone like you. One more thing, she's under my protection. If you dare harass her again, you'll face the consequences. With just one sentence, he openly declared his favoritism towards Soo-won. Chen Kai's face turned deathly pale as he stumbled backward in fear. Only then did he recognize the man before him, Lu Qinyuan. The CEO of the group. Su Wan was actually under Lu's protection. How dare he mock her for having no future earlier? He was practically digging his own grave. I won't dare anymore. I'll never come again. Chen Kai scrambled away in panic, never to show his face again, watching his humiliating retreat. The last trace of resentment in Su Wan's heart completely vanished. The scumbag from her past life had now become nothing more than a fleeting shadow in this one. Lu Qinyuan withdrew his gaze, and when he turned back to Su Wan, the coldness in his eyes instantly melted into tenderness. "Are you all right?" he asked. "I'm fine, thank you," Su Wan replied, her cheeks tinged with a faint blush. "No need to be polite with me," Lu Qinyuan said softly. "If anyone ever bullies you in the future, just let me know." The streetlight's glow spilled over the two of them, creating an atmosphere of perfect tenderness. Su Wan looked up at the man before her, her heartbeat accelerating uncontrollably once more. She knew her heart seemed to be falling. Little by little, after her promotion to team leader, the first thing Su Wan did was reorganize the team. She removed employees who were just coasting or stirring up trouble, promoted capable and hardworking newcomers, and established clear reward and punishment policies. The competent rose. The mediocre fell fair and impartial, with no favoritism or suppression. In just a few days, the entire team's morale was transformed. Everyone was full of drive, united in thought and effort. Working under team leader Su feels so promising. If you have the skills, you get the opportunities. No more petty scheming. Team leader Su isn't just capable. She's fair. We all respect her. With hearts aligned, the team's cohesion reached unprecedented strength. Su Wan understood deeply that the workplace wasn't about climbing over others but about earning respect through ability and vision. Her goal wasn't to be a boss who hoarded credit or shifted blame but a leader who could grow with the team and achieve results together. Wang Peng watched as Su Wan managed the team with flawless order, her prestige in the department growing ever higher, and completely abandoned any thought of retaliation. He kept his head down daily, not daring to cause any more trouble. Terrified of being outright expelled from the company, once an enemy, he could now only submit meekly. Su Wan hadn't crushed him completely, but her competence had stripped him of any right to challenge her. In the office, no one dared to underestimate or trouble her anymore. Everyone knew Su Wan had risen by her own merit, was under the CEO's personal protection, and was the undisputed core of the marketing department. The key project led by Su Wan quickly became a sensation in the industry. Numerous trade media outlets rushed to cover it, analyzing the project as a classic case study. Overnight, Su Wan's name became a household word in the marketing circle. Countless renowned companies and brands sent collaboration invitations, specifically requesting Su Wan to oversee their projects. Several competing firms even offered sky-high salaries in an attempt to poach her. Headhunters' phones were ringing off the hook, and her inbox was flooded with invitations. "Sujie, so many companies are trying to poach you with double the salary," a team member said enviously. Su Wan merely smiled faintly and declined them all. "My current company gave me opportunities and a platform. I'm not someone who forgets kindness. Besides, here I can do what I truly want. With a boss who trusts me, a team that clicks, and someone worth staying for." As she uttered the last sentence, she instinctively glanced toward the CEO's office, a faint smile lingering in her eyes. Her refusal soon reached the ears of the chairman and the director. Both admired and valued her even more, directly promising her a promotion to department manager by year-end, along with company shares as an incentive. Her future was bright and full of promise. Sitting at her desk, Su Wan watched the bustling traffic outside the window with unwavering certainty. In this life, she hadn't repeated past mistakes, hadn't compromised herself, hadn't relied on anyone else. With her own hands, she had climbed step by step from the bottom, becoming the person she had always wanted to be. As her fame grew, Su Wan's workload also increased. She often had to work late into the night, refining proposals, liaising with clients, and organizing team tasks. Upon learning this, Lu Qinyuan also frequently stayed late at the office under the pretext of handling work. He didn't deliberately disturb Su Wan but would have his assistant bring her warm coffee and late-night snacks in the wee hours. Miss Su. Mr. Lu asked me to bring this for you. Please take care. Su Wan looked at the warm coffee, feeling a surge of warmth in her heart. She stood up and walked to the door of the CEO's office, knocking gently. Come in. Lu Qinyuan was reviewing documents. Seeing her enter, he set down his pen, his eyes softening with a gentle smile. Why haven't you left yet? I was just about to. Thank you for the coffee and the late-night snack. Su Wan said softly. Don't overwork yourself. Your health is important. Lu Qinyuan said as he stood up and picked up his coat. I'm leaving too, let me take you home. The city at midnight was quiet yet dazzling. Soft music played in the car, and though the two of them didn't speak much, they felt exceptionally at ease. Su Wan looked at the man beside her and suddenly felt that all the hardships and grievances she had endured in the workplace were comforted in this moment. President Lu. Su Wan suddenly spoke up. Why are you so good to me? Lu Qinyuan turned his head, gazing at her with gentle eyes, and spoke each word with utmost sincerity. Because I like you. From the moment you calmly countered in the conference room, I noticed you. Su Wan. I like your clarity, your hard work, your resilience. I like all of you. The straightforward confession, the unreserved feelings, instantly struck Su Wan's heart. She looked up and met Lu Qinyuan's deep, tender gaze. Her heartbeat so rapid it almost leaped out of her chest. So, it wasn't just her one-sided affection. So, he had liked her all along. Su Wan's cheeks flushed pink as she lightly bit her lip and whispered in response. President Lu. Call me Qinyuan. Lu Qinyuan interrupted her, his tone laced with affection. Don't feel pressured. I won't interfere with your career or force you to do anything. I just want to tell you that I like you and wish to stay by your side, supporting you in everything you want to do. He respected her career, guarded her dreams, and treated her as an equal with genuine sincerity. This was a tenderness and favoritism Su Wan had never experienced before. Looking at him, a faint smile surfaced in her eyes as she nodded gently. Qinyuan. Me too. Those simple 4 words conveyed their mutual understanding perfectly. The atmosphere in the car instantly turned sweet and tender. Lu Qinyuan reached out and gently held her hand, his fingertips warm and his touch soft. From now on, we'll walk together. Okay. The stars shone brilliantly, and the evening breeze was gentle. On her path of professional triumph, she had not only gained success and glory but also met someone who truly cherished her. The next day at work, Su Wan and Lu Qinyuan walked into the company building together. The two made no effort to hide their relationship, holding hands naturally, their eyes brimming with unconcealable joy. The employees who witnessed the scene were instantly stunned, followed by hushed cheers. Oh my God! Team leader Su and President Lu are together. I always knew President Lu treated team leader Su differently. This is so sweet. A perfect match made in heaven. Everyone's blessing them. There was no jealousy, no criticism, only overwhelming well wishes. Everyone knew Su Wan wasn't some decorative figure who rose through connections but a capable professional who earned her place through merit. Her relationship with Lu Qinyuan was one of equals. A beautiful mutual pursuit. When the director and the chairman heard the news, they couldn't stop smiling. This is wonderful. Su Wan is a key asset to our company, and President Lu is our leader. This is truly a double blessing. When the news reached the marketing department, the team members were even more thrilled. Sis Su is amazing, winning in both career and love. Now we not only have an incredible team leader but also the president backing us. No one would dare mess with us. Su Wan, touched by everyone's sincere blessings, felt warmth in her heart. In this life, she had finally escaped the tragic fate of her past and become someone everyone admired. Seeing this, Wang Peng completely gave up. No longer harboring any resentment, he understood that he and Su Wan were no longer in the same world. It had been exactly 2 months since Su Wan was reborn. In these 2 months, She achieved a stunning comeback. From being a scapegoat bullied by everyone to a project team leader with real authority. From an ordinary employee despised by a scumbag to the female protagonist favored by a top CEO. From an obscure entry-level worker to a renowned marketing expert in the industry. Everyone who had humiliated her received the punishment they deserved. Everything she desired, she earned through her own efforts. All her regrets and grievances were filled with tenderness and glory. At the company's annual gala, Soo Won stood on the awards podium, receiving 2 major honors. Annual Outstanding Manager and Annual Best Project Leader. Under the spotlight, she shone brilliantly. Exuding confidence and composure, Lee Chun-yuan stood beside her, his eyes filled with tenderness and pride. Thank you to the company for giving me this opportunity, to my team for their companionship, and to those around me for their unwavering support and protection. Soo Won said into the microphone, her tone sincere. I want to tell everyone striving in the workplace. Don't give up. Don't compromise. With your own abilities, you can absolutely become the person you aspire to be. Thunderous applause erupted from the audience. After the gala, Soo Won and Lee Chun-yuan stood side by side on the rooftop, gazing at the city's sea of lights. What do you want to do next? Lee Chun-yuan asked softly. Keep striving in my career. Lead the team to achieve greater results. And become a department director as soon as possible. Soo Won's eyes sparkled with determination. Then, walk this path well, together with you. Lee Chun-yuan held her hand tightly, his smile tender. All right, I'll accompany you.